my soul, feel it in my soul, Lord. Feel it in my soul. Phi Beta Sigma God soul. Phi Beta Sigma God soul. Said Phi Beta Sigma God soul. Phi Beta Sigma God soul. I feel it in my soul, feel it in my soul. Phi Beta, no great. Phi Beta.
Hello, and welcome back to the Brother2Brother series. For the next few weeks, we will be speaking with our International Vice President, John B. Lamont, and various brothers in the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. Today, we have Kenneth Straughter, who is also known as Sarge. He's our immediate past Georgia director. He's a member of Delta Mu Sigma in Athens, and he was crossed in 1998.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, 21 years. Impressive.
Well, before we get started, I just want to tell you, give you thanks for the work that you helped me with as the advisor of Zeta Nu chapter. You know, you came to us at our state conference last year, and we were having problem with membership. We got a letter from the school that we were not at the number that we're required to stay active on the campus. And you sat down with us, and we had a meeting along with the other members of Delta Mu Sigma and Zeta Nu. And I'm glad to say that now, after that meeting and some hard work with Zeta Nu, that membership has actually tripled from the 3 members. They're over about 12. And I think they're in the process of bringing some other brothers in this spring. So again, appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Stay active on campus. So with that being said, I'm going to start off by asking you, explain to the brothers out here what you shared with us about the 4 R's.
Okay. So let me say this before.
5 R's.
5 R's, right. That's all right, close enough. Right. Let me just say this. Thank you for your 4 years of leadership in the state of Georgia. You know, during those years, the state of Georgia has been at the very least number 2 in the entire fraternity, and that was under your leadership. So I'm going to charge the next state director to go get number 1, to go get Texas. But thank you for those 4 years of leadership and membership in the state of Georgia.
Appreciate it.
Really did appreciate the opportunity to sit down with yourself and members of leadership on the state level, on the regional level, to working with Zeta Nu. I do believe that that it's collaboration like that that really helps our collegiate chapters. You know, we had, you know, your vice director there, you had the regional director there, you had the state director there, you had the chapter president of the alumni chapter there, you had the 3 members of the chapter, the collegiate chapter there. And we worked and we had several meetings and strategized what would be most effective in bringing up the numbers in Zeta Nu. So it was exciting to work with brothers. You know, we all came together and figured out how we could grow the membership. So your question about the 5 R's. I often say that if we as chapters collectively push the 5 R's, then we're going to grow exponentially. You know, the first one being recruitment. You know, we need to make sure that every brother in the chapter, not just the president or vice president, but every brother in that chapter is actively recruiting daily, not seasonally, but on a daily basis, looking and identifying brothers that, you know, that they want to be members of Phi Beta Sigma. Reactivation. We certainly lose a lot of brothers from year to year. We want to make a concerted effort and target those brothers that we've lost and ask them to come back to Phi Beta Sigma. Retention, the 3rd R. Our goal is to have a minimum of 80% of brothers who are on the books to come back the following year. But the way we do that, we have to make sure that we're doing, you know, we're having activities and functions within the chapter that keeps the brothers engaged. But we want to make sure that we know that we want to stay at least at a minimum 80% of our brothers to come back on, you know, every given year. Reclamation is the 4th R. We all know a number of brothers who came in through Phi Beta Sigma not legitimately. We want those brothers to come back home to Sigma. So we're asking every brother that we know that's not on the books to come back to Sigma through our reclamation process. We simplified the process. 3 steps. One notarized letter, an approval from your regional director, and they pay their national, regional, and local dues, and they're on the books. Real simple, reclamation. And the 5th one, relationship building. It's my belief that the more you build, we talk about brotherhood and brotherhood first, the more that you build your relationships with the brother, the easier it is to do community service, the easier it is to come to chapter meetings, the easier it is to promote and brand Phi Beta Sigma. So we want brothers to be intentional and having fellowship programs, fellowship events, and kind of recognizing, just getting to know your brothers before you start doing the heavy stuff in the fraternity. So if we focus on those 5 R's, again, sky's the limit in terms of Phi Beta Sigma can go. So thank you for asking that question. Really appreciate that, brother.
And the last thing, as an advisor, and I've worked for years with the University of Georgia and Zeta Nu chapter. How would you suggest we go about, finding those new members? We did good the last year bringing in members, but at PWI, it's not that easy. We've had a lot of our members joining, becoming Sigmas, the end of their junior year and senior year. So by the time they're on board, they're matriculating out of college. So what are some things that we can do to get them a little earlier, their sophomore year or the early part of their junior year?
I think part of the challenge too is our collegiate members oftentimes like to talk to their friends about joining the organization. And I think we have to kind of look outside that scope and encourage our collegiate members, not necessarily to look at their friends. You talked about juniors and seniors. We should be recruiting freshmen. There are some chapters that have events for freshmen specifically. A lot of chapters have freshman move-in days. Find opportunities or create opportunities where the brothers of the chapter are engaging and interacting with freshman classes. Go to the university administration and ask to get a list of all the freshmen, males. Go to other organizational events, and just kind of have conversations. I think those are the things that, as collegiate members that we should be doing on the front end, freshman year, having, we used to call them smokers, you can be somewhere and have a conversation about Phi Beta Sigma, but you have to start doing that freshman year, and even with respect to, we have what we call SET, Sigma Education Time. Go to the libraries, have some study sessions, Sigma Education Time, and encourage men to come and study so they can do well academically. Freshmen, start there. Those are the things, those are opportunities that you can create to get people involved, engage with the chapters, and to just kind of, bring them along. But I think, you can't do it June, you can, but I think it's too late at that point because you really want brothers to come in early so they can have an impact to grow the chapter and have impact on their campuses. Okay. Thank you for that question as well.
Well, brother, thank you for all the hard work that you've been doing. Looking forward to working with you again in the future. Thank
Absolutely.
You.
I appreciate you again. All right. God bless you, Brother Sarge.
Go Mom.
Go Mom.
Feel it in my soul. Phi Beta Sigma got soul. Phi Beta Sigma got soul. Said Phi Beta Sigma got soul.